But somebody, please tell me, how do I work so hard to have somebody who comes to this country, not long, no credit, and he's...
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Real Talk with Darius. Remember to hit that like button, comment, subscribe, set your notifications, and share this video. There's different content to be on my channel as I continue to grow. Also, I just started a Rumble channel as well. So be looking for me over there as I start adding more videos to my new channel. And please subscribe to that as well. Now, right now, we're going to get ready to check out a message from Dr. Umar Johnson. I do not holistically agree with his stance on certain things, which is primarily race-based. He's out for the he's looking out for the African American community. But anyway, he did put out some information that I truly wholeheartedly agree with, and I think some of you will also. And then following that video, I have another one coming up about a young lady. These are about Kamala Harris's presidency or potential presidency. There's some challenging things going on. So anyway, without further ado, let's check this out.
Black vote ain't for sale no more. Black vote ain't for sale. We bartering on business. We standing on business. Bring us some tangibles or get out of my face.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Dr. Umar Johnson exposing Kamala Harris and her team for trying to pay off high-level influencers and celebrities. Now, before we get to his video in which he breaks it down, and
I'm gonna let Anthony Brown break it down a little bit more. He broke it down. He gave us a succinct or summarized who Dr. Umar Johnson is. So I'm gonna let him take care of that. Also, I like Anthony Brown's channel. He's primarily, at least from the videos I've seen, he's a conservative leaning person. So if you're interested in that, give him a sub.
And some evidence to back him up. Let's back up a little bit here to explain what's going on for proper context. Now, a lot of y'all may know who this man is. Some of you guys don't, and that's fine. For the younger generation, you may have seen him on social media. He's kind of a meme at this point. He's a naturally funny character, although he's being dead serious about his pro-black, anti-white female agenda. He's super, super serious about that, although it can be funny to some. Now, if you're my age, older millennial, or older than that, you know him from many years ago, being a pro-black, doing speaking engagements, the whole school kerfuffle, which is a whole different story. And for now, I digress. You know him from a variety of different ways. And at the end of the day, the point is he's a very influential person in the community, in the black community. So, of course, they'll reach out to him and Kai Cenat and guys like this to try and get them to do things for Kamala. Hey, can you make a pro-Kamala post on your social media page? Hey, can you come out and speak before a Kamala event? And there's a lot of money involved. I would say there's billions of dollars involved with this whole industry. Now, before I go any further, let's get to the first clip. Of course, I'll link to everything in the box if you want to see it in full without my commentary, but I will stop it at certain points to give my 2 cents. And without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Black vote ain't for sale no more. Black vote ain't for sale. We bartering on business. We standing on business. Bring us some tangibles or get out of my face. Ricky Smiley, I love you. But crying on the radio for Kamala Harris, my brother, that's an all-time low. Don't do that again, Ricky Smiley. Don't you get on your radio show and cry for Kamala. Don't you do that, my brother. If you want to cry for Kamala Harris,
I caught that, Umar. Obama, I caught that. Kamala Obama, I caught that.
Hey, Anthony, I caught that too. It's funny. I was like, when I first came across this, I saw it. I thought it was a typo because I saw it on Twitter, X, And then so I said, oh, it must have been a typo. So listening to the video, it's a different ball game. He actually did say that.
Very, very well done, sir.
If you want to cry for Kamala Harris, you do that in the privacy of your house. But if we're going to be honest, Steve Harvey and Ricky Smiley, and I love you both, no hate to my big brothers. But if we're going to be honest, Ricky Smiley and Steve Harvey, y'all only carried on because y'all got paid to carry on.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about that money, because the money, listen, money is there. And I know a lot of guys on social media, a lot of these celebrities, a lot of these influencers are getting those monies. Now, me personally, I've never been paid by the RNC or any kind of PAC like that. And if I did, I would tell you straight up, this is what it is. I would disclose it. It wouldn't be a thing you would be kind of surprised about. And before any kind of sponsorship or whatnot came along, I've been the same person. But some of these people were not really political. All of a sudden, it became political, and they out there campaigning for a particular individual. Okay, let's keep on going.
Can we?
Yeah, right on that, because I heard of another influencer maybe a little bit of a week ago. He was talking about he was getting called by the Kamala Harris group, and he was throwing a fit. If I had thought about it, I probably would include that video in this too. But he was throwing a fit, saying, "I'm not political. I'm not political." So, and I agree with Anthony on that as well. If you're getting paid, that means you're now are sharing their message. You're showing your support for this particular group or this particular party, this particular candidate. So that means you cannot show any support for the other side. So that's why they want to pay all that money. And again, if that's what you're going to do it. But like Anthony said, disclose it.
We please be honest. Can we see? I want y'all to understand, overstand, and understand what King Kong is talking about. Y'all carried on because y'all got paid to carry on. Kamala Harris and the Democratic plantation is paying you celebrities, paying you to shame black people into voting. Y'all know we're not going to get nothing out of that vote. Y'all know we're not going to get nothing out of that vote.
Now, of course, Umar, I disagree with you there, because Umar, what he represents, in my opinion, are a lot of black folks who say they don't want to vote at all. When we expose how bad the Democratic Party is that we've been voting for the past 60, 70 years, when we expose how bad they are, then they say, oh, it's two sides of the same bird. They're all the same. Ain't no difference. So I'm not going to vote at all.
Right.
When in reality, the other side is much better for you. This is why so many black folks are moving to Atlanta, Georgia, which is a red state, Houston, Texas, Dallas, Texas, another red state, Florida, red state, North Carolina, South Carolina, kind of flip-flop, but still red states. They move into conservative places to red states with lower taxes, lower cost of living, safer, you have more rights, you get to own your firearm. They move places like that. But then when we say, hey, why don't you vote the same kind of way that the policies you like are supported, they just say, no, I don't want to vote at all.
No, that's real talk. It's exactly what happens. If they don't have an argument, they don't have a leg to stand on, then they come up with these straw man arguments.
Oh no, we not going to get nothing out of the vote, but they being paid, y'all being bought. They offer me $10K for an interview with Kamala Harris. I don't want your money.
So he's exposing it right here. It says, hey, they, whoever they may be, and they're going to be funny with that, because when Kai Cenat, the humongous, the really, really big time streamer, young dude, 22 years old, when he came out and said that Secret Service had been calling his phone and Kamala's team had been calling his phone trying to get...
Hey, that's him, y'all. Kai Cenat. Again, I don't know a lot of these guys, but Kai Cenat. I saw that video. He threw a tantrum. He was throwing some of his equipment around. He messed up his little platform just for a moment. He messed up his platform a little bit because he was so upset. They was bugging him.
Them to do a live stream with them, because they saw how big the Trump and Aiden Ross stream, where he got the Cybertruck, they saw how big that one was. So they reached out to him. The Kamala's team responded and said, oh, well, he wasn't talking to us. He was speaking to a third party that's kind of like loosely affiliated with us. So, okay, yeah, whatever. A PAC, all right? A super PAC. Some kind of company, some kind of third party, they reached out to him on your behalf. Let's not play any games. The same thing appears to have been going on with Umar. Let's continue.
But we can definitely do the interview. They offer me $10K for an interview with Kamala Harris. Yes, we can do the interview. Keep your damn money. King Kong consciousness ain't for sale. I'm one of the real ones. Silverback Garvey Gorilla. I'm one of the real ones. Silverback Garvey Gorilla. Don't come to me with no propositions for money.
And Anthony's probably going to address this because this is my first time watching this video. So we watching this together, y'all. But don't we, in the black community, in the African American community, don't we have a problem being called monkeys? I do not buy into the evolutionist theory about humans being monkeys. Don't we get mad when we're subjugated, treated like we're animals? So why then do we take on like it's a badge of honor? Why do we turn around then and take on the title as if it's supposed to bring some type of value to us? Because the word king, is that the word that separates Kong from the rest of the monkeys because his name King? So now we can say, hey, it's okay to call ourselves monkeys because, man, no. So a lot of that don't make any sense to me personally. I'm not going to call myself that. Now, again, like fellas, I know we call ourselves dogs, DAWGS, Hey, what's up, dog? And I get that. Okay, but that's, in this case, I believe those terms are different. But regardless, that is sad. On one end, you don't like being called demeaned. But it's okay if you do it. Just like in the black community, we can use certain terms with like the N-word. Now, when I was growing up, I heard it a few times and stuff, but that was not really a part of my culture, my household's culture, where we grew up calling ourselves the N-word, okay? I have a name, you have a name. Sometimes boy, girl, brother, sister, stuff like that. But calling each other the N-word like it's a badge of honor, we take those either slave names or we take those derogatory terms and redefine them. That makes no sense.
I don't live for no money. I'm not one of these goofy ass rappers whose whole life is nothing but what you can buy and own. You dealing with real African DNA.
Now, I can agree with him 100%. I can really appreciate him not wanting to be sold out. We could do the interview, but I'm not going to get paid for it because at that point, my opinion is compromised. If you pay me to interview you, then my opinion is compromised. Obviously,
right.
This payment has some strings attached. You want me to say positive things about her and give her a softball interview to make her look good on my platform to influence my followers. This is what you want. But I want to ask real questions, not whatever you want to give me, like how to do with Joe Biden. Okay, so keep the 10 bands. Let me just interview her normally. They probably don't even want to do the interview if they can't pay him.
No, I'm sure they don't want to. I wouldn't. They smart. You shouldn't do it because they know she's going to put herself in a bad position. This is why she's playing incognito right now. She's hiding right now. You had hiding Biden, now you have hiding Harris. So, matter of fact, I think she's using the exact same playbook that Biden used in 2020. How do you win the presidency? How do you win a presidency hiding?
Real ancestral energy over here. I'm not no Ricky Smiley and Steve Harvey. You don't drop no check off and say, get the Negroes to the plantation on November the 4th. You don't drop no check off and say, get the Negroes to the plantation.
So very well done. Shout out to you, Umar. Now, we have somebody else, another influencer, saying the exact same thing about Kamala and her team. Okay, and the number that she gave out is similar to what Umar gave out. So this lets me know that there are most certainly some big monies exchanging hands when you're talking about influencers on social media. Okay, what's them boys? Them two white kids, the Sisson boys or whatever their name are. Those guys are getting paid straight from the DNC. Last time I checked, but maybe I'm wrong. But there is some money going into their pocket from these people that wish to see the current administration continue. But let's continue here with a little bit more to back up what Umar was saying about the whole pay for play situation. Check it out.
In the first 100 days of a Republican presidency under Trump, Project 2025 talks about sacking thousands of civil servants.
Last month, Sunay says she was hired by Protect Our Care, a progressive advocacy group that relies on anonymous donors. She made a video warning about Trump's second-term agenda.
They almost help you script it, right?
Right, definitely.
She takes their talking points and puts them into her own voice.
Now, let's pause right here. I kind of want to just zoom in a little bit because this is really important. Now, this segment is about this young lady being paid to say what's on this script, in her own words, of course. Now, look at what it says right here. It's all about Project 2025. This is the reason why so many in the community are talking about Project 2025, although it's nothing.
Right.
Now, you guys can see what it says right here on the screen, but I'm going to explain what's happening. Project 2025 is a framework for people to follow if they wish, and it comes from a conservative think tank called the Heritage Foundation.
Right.
This is not a bill. This will not be a law. This does not come from the Trump team. Actually, Trump spoke about this and said he didn't know anything about it. He read some of it. He liked some things and he did not like some things. But if you listen to the media and what these influencers say, this is Trump's plan and it's dangerous.
Exactly.
And if you ask people, hey, what about this plan is dangerous? They're not going to have much in the way of anything serious. Okay. Now, they even telling her right here, don't get into the details of what this says, because once you get into the details, that takes away from the mystique and the scary nature of how they're trying to present it. You see it right here. It's do's and don'ts. In the don't section, they say, don't just list the litany of policies in the manifesto. Yeah, don't list the policies, because then you might start to kind of ask questions, and the math might not be mathing, as a cool kid say, but let's let it continue.
Saying she always discloses when she's being paid.
What's your rate?
So a video just for a creator in my size, an average can go from $3,000 to $10,000 depending, and upward.
So she's saying it right there, between 3 and 10,000. What did Umar say? 10,000. It's the same thing. It's the same kind of people. It might not have been the same organization or entity that reached out to Umar to reach out to her, but it's the same thing at the end of the day. They're just trying to pay people to get them to influence you. And a lot of it is working, because Project 2025 seems to be a talking point that a lot in the community have. And the only reason why they're saying that is because they saw it on social media, namely the app from China that starts with 2 T's. But as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to Umar for keeping it all the way real about what's going on. And they're not even really trying to hide it. This piece I just showed you with the young lady was from CBS. They're not trying to hide it. Now, it's up to the individual whether you want to believe what you're being told by paid actors. I would say don't even believe me. Do your own research.
Right.
Look at what Project 2025 is and see if it's a thing that Trump even supports. Listening to the media, they'll say one thing, but the reality says something else. So always do your own research and don't just take whatever talking head like me even says on the internet. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your thoughts about Umar Johnson and
Right. And that's the same thing I said on that too. What I actually did a few weeks ago, maybe a couple weeks ago, I put up on my channel, and you can go check it out. I put up a video of what Trump's actual project is. I call it project. What his actual project is, and it's called Agenda 47. You should go check out my channel and look it up and see what what his actual project is. Why? Because they are not talking about it. He has those are many videos. Matter of fact, I even told you to go to I asked you to go to his own website if you're interested and see exactly what Trump's campaign promises are, what they're based on. See, that's the thing. You have to learn. For those who don't, you have to learn to think for yourself. Don't take my word for it. Like Anthony said, don't take his word for it. Don't take the Democrat side. Don't take the Republican side. Don't take the liberal side. You do your own homework, because at the end of the day, you are responsible for your own decision making. Now, speaking of Kamala paying people to represent them, even if it's a lie, which a lot of it is, but even she's paying people, her team, they are paying people, those who associate with them, are paying people to peddle their information, peddle their promises, talk about how good the campaign is, showing their support for Kamala Harris, even if they truly don't. I want to play you a video, and this is coming off of a suggestion or recommendation. Someone asked me to post this or to talk about it, and I did hear about this young lady where she is an American citizen, and she is a business owner. And she has a sad story. I say happy sad in the sense that she's going to make some money off the deal, but the bulk of the information she's going to share is sad. Remember, she's an American citizen.
But I think this thing need to go to where it need to go. Now, one of the biggest issues with Kamala Harris is obviously the border, obviously her history that they're trying to erase and things of that nature. But I want you guys to listen to this. It says an American business owner is selling her food truck because a legal immigrant shows up with paperwork that he is getting funding to purchase her truck with no money in the bank and no credit. Wow. She speaks with the bank and is told that this is common. Illegal immigrants are being given funding.
You see this black box right here?
Sorry about that.
Well, I'm going to show you something right now. Some people are concerned that they might have to
Funding to purchase things like this. That's insane. Let's hear a story.
I need this message to go out to our vice president who's running for president. I have heard all over social media about, excuse me if I say anything wrong, immigrants getting loans, money. It was hard for me to believe. It was just extremely hard for me to believe. I've been in business such a long time. Back in 2019, I purchased my first food truck. It cost me over $25,000. I paid it cash money. I worked hard to pay for this truck. I'm now selling it because I'm doing other things, but I'm selling it. I had a guy come to look at purchasing my vehicle or my food truck. And he explained to me he's an illegal immigrant. He has no credit. He has no money in the bank. But he showed me his paperwork that he will receive funds to purchase my food truck. I'm thankful that he's buying it, but I'm hurt that I worked so hard to pay cash for my food truck. I have good credit, can't even get a business loan because of the color of my skin. I have veterans in my family. I'm a veteran. I've been self-employed for so long. But somebody, please tell me, how do I work so hard to have somebody who comes to this country, not long, no credit, and he shows me paperwork where they'll be funding him money to buy my food truck. And when I talked to the bank, they told me usually they have to go straight to a dealership because I'm a private sale. But for special circumstances, they're going to, they allow it. But I need my president to tell me why I worked so hard all these years, all these decades. Couldn't get a business loan, but I bust my ass to get the money to create my business. And we got immigrants coming here. And they're getting money. Money. We're doing nothing but just being here. It's not right, and I want answers.
Now, for YouTube's sake, I want to mention that obviously this woman is emotionally distraught, but she's in no sort of distress or nobody's after her. Nothing violent or volatile is happening to her in this moment. She's just expressing her frustration, and it comes with, some emotional tears, rightfully so. Just want to make sure YouTube understands that nothing vicious or volatile was happening. But this is sad right here. And it also, rightfully so, enrages me. I mean, who wouldn't get ticked off at this?
Right.
You've worked so hard your whole life. You've paid taxes in this country your whole life. You put in hours, blood, sweat, and tears to contribute to society your whole life in America. Only for somebody to come here that's illegal and just being handed all of those tax dollars that I worked so hard to put into this country. That's insulting, to say the least. And I would be emotional about that as well. It's heartbreaking. This is a heartbreaking situation. It's sad that the Biden and the Harris administration continue to reign after results like this. And for people to consider Kamala as the candidate that's best fit for this,
Come on, we gotta wake up. I'm reading a comment right here. It says my aunt is a manager at an apartment complex in Atlanta, and they are giving her 0.0000000 socials. Well, socials is all zeros.
Right.
That have perfect credit scores and no criminal history. I don't know how true that is. Myself, that's me reading it through a comment. I can't verify that or say that is exactly happening, but we see where this is all headed towards. Americans are being replaced.
Before he continues, I'll let him say a few more things because I did watch this video. Like a few more things he said, some of the comments that he was getting on his feed. But that is a very sad situation. She has three things going for her. Number one, she's an American citizen. Number two, she's a woman. Number three, she's a black woman. She's a minority. All those grants out there, she couldn't qualify for any in 25 years. She can receive any type of financial assistance from her government that she pays taxes to. But you have all these illegals come in and they get all kinds of benefits. Yes, what he's about to go into is true. I see. Let me ask you this. How long will it take for you to wait until danger is at your front door before you actually see the warning signs of that danger? Many people will wait until something bad happens or gets worse before they make certain changes or make certain adjustments. She's saying that she just received, she's selling her food truck to someone who comes into the country and receives the better benefits than she do as a citizen of this country. Criminals, come on, pay attention to what's going on around. You got people, it's now legal to steal. At least in certain states, it's legal to steal up to a certain dollar amount. How is that possible? How does that keep incentivize people not to break laws or not to steal? And then if the legal law-abiding citizens, store owners, employees, homeowners, if they do anything to stop the criminals, hurt the criminals, or even kill the criminals, and it's found out, the criminals are still protected. How is that possible? It's very possible because they meant for it to be. So you may not like getting into conspiracy theories, but what happens when the conspiracies are playing out in your current reality? Will you believe then?
Never deport any of these people. They're propping up this beloved US dollar, even with more fake debt. I don't understand what that means. Maybe somebody can elaborate on what they were trying to do right there. But what else we have here? Truth. They're replacing all of us with illegals from third world countries. It's the Great Reset.
Now, y'all got to remember this. Trump said this, I believe it was around 2020 when he was campaigning. He kept telling people, they are sending these other countries are sending in the worst of the worst. They're not sending in their best. They're sending in criminals. They're sending in gang members. They're sending in people out of the psych wards, things of the nature. I mean, I get exact words right or say that verbatim, but that's what he said. And people called him crazy, called him a racist, and all those normal talking points. And yet, 4 years later, 3 to 4 years later, now people see it. Have y'all forgotten about that? Type in the comments if you forgot. Type in the comments if you remember. This is where we're at right now. Now, do I still believe there's hope? Oh, yes, because I don't peddle fear. I peddle, if you want to use that term, I peddle awareness and hope. Because there is something to hope for. So, anyway, let's go and finish this and then I'll be done.
And we know the reason as to why this is happening as well. It's really up to no surprise. We know what they're trying to do for November. We know what the plan is. We know what the plot is. This is nothing special. Right here, as I'm literally getting ready to close out the video, it says from I Am Mean, watch as the NYP removes illegal aliens in confinement and unlicensed food stands near the taxpayer-funded Randall's Island migrant shelter. Officers also confiscated stolen mopeds and unregistered vehicles. Sheesh.
Yep, I saw that.
Some hard-working New Yorkers can't afford to buy the bare minimum. Let's check this out.
An encampment on Randall's Island. Now, earlier today, they confiscated and removed.
When I told Trump about this, he urged me to get this message out to as many patriots as I can.
Let's go ahead and check this last
moved
clip out
several
too.
vehicles. This comes as Mayor Adams has
I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and check this last clip out too. I saw this as well. All of this is important. Again, not fear, no panic, awareness, and you can take the necessary precautions for you and your family.
promised to crack down on issues near a migrant shelter there. Eyewitness News reporter Anthony Carlo is on Randall's Island with what we are seeing there right now. Anthony?
Well, let me tell you, just about a half hour ago, if you were here watching this whole thing, you would have had no idea this was going to happen. It was as if a storm rolled through. I want to just paint the picture here for you. This is the shelter itself here at Randall's Island. You can see some migrants now who are hanging out outside after both the NYPD and Parks Department police came through at about 3:45 and scattered everybody. And if we shift over here, you're looking at what really is an empty space, but this was full of people earlier, vendors, folks hanging out, folks living, and it was largely a non-contested removal and breaking down, really dismantling of all of it. The sun was barely up before the NYPD tow trucks were out. Wheels were strapped up, allowing only enough time to remove belongings. Police hauling the vehicles away as part of a raid near the Randall's Island migrant shelter.
You'll see unregistered cars, mopeds, stolen mopeds.
Chief of Patrol John Schell on Eyewitness News mornings at 10, saying the NYPD often makes these discoveries at Randall's Island, but asserting that his cops remain focused on enforcing the law, not singling anyone out.
We don't care about your status. We're here to fight crime whoever you may be, wherever you hang out, wherever you live.
Right now, some migrants appear to be living right outside the shelter doors on Randall's Island. You'll find a makeshift barber shop, food stands, and police posted close to this big encampment. The Adams administration has said it will not tolerate encampments outside the shelter, just as it wouldn't on city streets. And we do want to show you some video now that actually gives you an idea of the dismantling of that large encampment we just showed you that happened at about 3:45. That encampment was here all throughout the day, and then the police department, the Parks Department, they rolled on through at about 3:45. They packaged some stuff up. They told people to scatter. All of the migrants and the folks that were hanging out outside of the Randall's Island migrant shelter basically had no other choice but to leave and move along, and they did. There are still some folks hanging outside here now. Again, I had a photographer out here. He witnessed a lot of it. He said that largely it was peaceful. It was non-contested. Again, not a lot of what they really could do in response to the police. If we could bring it back to a live picture, if we have not already done already. But again, you can see a much different scene now, a much different scene from that story we just showed you of what the encampment looked like throughout the day. And of course, mostly cleared out, some NYPD brass still on scene after their patrolmen and the Parks Department cleared it all out about 15, 20 minutes ago.
What sucks is my first thought was, is Kamala showing up anytime soon? Because I'm actually doing something about it right now. Makes me just question, like, oh, that means Kamala's going to be, or some Democrat is coming through that area and sometime soon. That's sad to even have to think that.
It is.
Wow, somebody said I thought that they was coming here for a better life. They definitely got it. They got cars, they got cribs, you know what I mean? They got barbers, as you can see. They got everything they need.
And they got the government supporting them as well.
For free.
And they got the government here to support them as well. Let me cut that out.
5 words you pronounce wrong.
Stop.
2 years.
All right. So that's what we got going on right now. Is there's an invasion going on. Just call it what it is. It's an invasion, and there's a lot of belief that certain demographics are being replaced, such as the black community, because the Democrats know they don't have all, especially amongst the black men, they do not have the same support they once had. And so, as Dr. Umar Johnson was saying in the earlier part of the video, black folks got to stop saying. Now, let me say this. This goes for everybody, specifically for everybody. I don't care what your demographic is from that standpoint. But on the other hand, since the Democrats have catered for decades to the black or African American community, you need to think for yourself and educate yourself. Don't just vote because it's a family tradition or because your friends do it or your spouse do it or because whatever. Do your own research. Then I also, no, I'll probably get on that another time. But it is sad what that lady's going through. She's one voice out of many, possibly, who's experiencing the exact same thing. Real quick, last story. I remember a few years ago, I was working with someone. She's Hispanic, nice lady. She was basically in tears when her and I was having a discussion about the illegal immigration that was going on at the time when it first basically started. And she was upset that she would see some of these younger ladies driving navigators, don't have a job. They come here and they did not do their due diligence. They did not come in the legal way or the right way, but she did. She got her, she became a legalized citizen, a naturalized citizen. And she was in tears. She was so upset. And that's what a lot of people feel. And so if that's you, drop it in the comments if you know somebody. Let me know what your thoughts are. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, set your notifications, and share this video if you enjoy it. And again, I will be doing a short video to promote this, but I'm on YouTube, Twitter, or X. I'm now on Rumble and Instagram. So hit me up. God bless you. I'll see you later, and I love you.